the final push. Some of you are right on it this moment. You're on the big run-up, the final push to your PMP exam success. You're looking to get certified. Now, this is specifically for those students who wrote into me telling me their exam was 1 day out, 2 days out, 1 week out. Same approach across the board. Scale it up, scale it down, but no matter what you do, you need to do these things I'm about to show you. There are many, many things that we have to talk about today. Now, the big push to your success needs to be governed with a calm mindset. I'm going to be showing you what I mean by being calm. You gotta be calm. You gotta be calm under pressure. You gotta be calm when you're studying. You gotta be directed and focused, not all over the place. You gotta lead yourself. All of these are things I did and I recommend others do as they prepare for the exam. Even if you're 1 day away, this can be of help to you. So listen very close. I'm going to be showing you the 4-step process in your thinking when you are 1 day away. I call it the calm mindset for 1 day to the exam. When your exam is coming up real quick, that's the perfect time for you to look inward and be introspective regarding what you've studied and what you've done. You have got to convince yourself, you've got to believe that you have done what is required. It is too late to doubt yourself at this time. So C in calm means you're being cool, you're being confident, you're being collected, you're being composed. You get yourself comfortable and you cut off everything else that is noise, that is not needed, that you should not be doing at that particular time. You need to be absolutely composed. I would advise you to be early, even though some of you are taking the exam at home. Set up so that you're 30 minutes early. Please do that. 30 minutes early, and you'll be amazed at how calm, cool, confident, collected, composed, and comfortable you'll make yourself. Now, I've heard this from a lot of other students. They say they've got water nearby. They drink a little bit of water during the exam. Well, I don't know if every proctor allows that. But you know what? If they allow it, why not? Why not? Some of you are gonna need it. You're gonna need that water. Now, I know it's not official, but on projectmanagement.com, a lot of students talk about having water nearby. If you're allowed to have a sip of water, why wouldn't you? It's only gonna refresh you. So everything that you need to do to be calm, cool, confident, collected, do it right now. As I'm speaking to you, begin to think and put yourself in that emotional state. What haven't you done? What didn't you do? You did everything that you could, right? There are obviously things that people would have done 20 times over, but we only have 1 day left. So whether you read this 5 times or 1 time, you got to be confident, my friends. You got to be confident. And if you didn't read it, you still got to be confident. Maybe your trainer, your coach didn't drill it down and tell you you need to do this. That's fine. But it's too late to worry. All right. So step 1, get into that calm mindset. And for many of you, you got to cut off. You got to cut off the studying because your head feels so hot. And adding more to it is only going to be doing you harm. So cut off. In my mind, once it's 9 p.m. the night before an 8 a.m. exam, shut it down. Watch a movie, chill. That's another word you should add to the list. Just relax. Chill out. Wake up nice and early and strong and well, regardless when your exam is. You want to wake up with energy and vigor and vitality. You don't want to feel run over the day of. All of this depends on what you did the night before. Take it from me. Many of my students, they say, Phil, I'm so glad I listened to you. I watched a movie the night before my exam. It makes you feel calm. It helps you function like there's no care in a relaxed state. All right. So that's my first tip for you for today. You got to be calm. The second word is A for aware. A for action ready. What do I mean by this? Some people stagger into the exam totally unaware of where they are. They're right there in their house, but they are all over the place because they didn't do the first step. If you're not calm, cool, and collected, it's hard to be aware. And it's hard for you to be on your A game to take action when the unexpected happens. A few days ago, I talked about a student who was unable to take the exam. And by the way, there are many students who have been unable to take the exam as a result of technical hitches. Those that are using MacBooks, some are not using MacBooks, and they've also had issues. So you need to be aware, and you also need to be ready to act. And when you're in that emotional state of calmness, you're not frazzled. I do not want you to be frazzled. Regardless what happens on the exam, you gotta be aware. You gotta be action ready to jump into action, whatever it is you need to do to put out any fires, whatever it is you need to do to act accordingly on your exam. Let me give you an example. For me, I had to be action ready. If I wasn't, my exam would have gone down the tubes. I was taking my exam and I came across the first 10 questions. Awful. It felt like I was in the wrong exam. I finally got to question 20. 1 hour had gone by. But I was action ready and aware. Even though I had a conspiracy theorist gremlin on my shoulder saying, Phil, the reason why you're getting all these questions wrong or finding them hard is the PMI is giving you questions based on how well you did in the last question. Conspiracy theorist gremlin telling me lies. Now, I know PMI do not do that. I know this firsthand now. But when I was taking my exam, I didn't. But it helped me. That conspiracy theorist gremlin on my shoulder that was saying, the PMI is giving you hard questions, do something different. It helped me because I became action oriented. What I need you to do is to make the action decision for yourself. When you come across questions of a particular nature, when you come across a situation on the exam of a particular nature, what are you going to do? Are you going to have enough foresight to know I shouldn't dwell here like I did? I knew I shouldn't dwell in the land of question 1 to 20 anymore. It was time to move on. And I'm not talking about moving on to question 21. I'm talking about moving to the back of the stack. So I went to question 200. That's being aware and in the moment. That's being agile. That's the whole concept. We might as well add another A word, be agile. Because when I got to the end of that test, question 200, when I got to the end of the question stack, not the end of the exam, just a stack, I began to realize questions I knew and questions I knew and questions I knew. And I started going backwards, 200, 199, 198, 197, 196, until I got all the way back to the beginning where I made that decision to question 20. Long story short, I aced the exam, and I'm not talking about hobble by. I didn't hobble by. I did really well, which is amazing based on how I was feeling hours before that. But what helped me was I was action ready. I was aware of what was happening. This is not working. I need to move. Let me give you another example. Just a few weeks ago, I was taking my third Agile exam, and I'd taken the CSM, the ACP, and now it's time for the PSM. Now I'd gone 30 minutes in and I had only answered roughly 30 questions, I believe it was. And there are 80 questions. So I answered 30 questions for the first 30 minutes. And I look at the time, I'm like, my goodness, I've got 50 more questions to answer in 30 minutes. How am I going to do this? Do it. I was ready for action. When you're in an exam, you need to be ready to act, regardless. I mean, if you need to mow down 100 questions in 30 minutes, make up your mind about what to do. Just look at the situation, but you got to be ready for anything. Crazy stuff happens on this exam. The PMP exam, some people, the exams have been stopped in the middle. Some people have been asked to leave the room the exam center because of a technical issue right there in the middle. Then they ask them to come back in. They're able to pull their, all sorts of crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. You need to remember, this is my year 15 of doing this. So I've seen and heard all sorts. But the bottom line, you need to be action ready, okay? And the purpose of this really is to calm your nerves. That's why I'm just talking to you like I'm talking to a buddy, okay? So you need to be aware, you need to be action ready. The L, I'll tell you what the L stands for in a second. But before we do the L, if your exam is coming up in a day or so, one thing you want to do is go through the glossary. I'm going to help you right now because I know some of you are too stressed to go through it yourself. So I'm going to go through the glossary with you. I'm going to hit some of the terms that are out there, okay? So let's do this for 5 minutes. If there's a word I mention, you're like, I don't know what that is, it means you need to go check it out real quick before you exam. Acceptance criteria, accepted deliverables, accuracy, acquire resources, acquisition, activity, activity attributes, activity duration estimates, activity list, activity on node, actual cost, actual duration, adaptive life cycle, affinity diagrams, agreements, alternative analysis, analogous estimating, analytical techniques, assumption log, attribute sampling, authority, backward pass, bar chart, baseline, basis of estimates, benchmarking, benefits management plan, bid document, bidder conference, bottom-up estimating, budget at completion, buffer, business case, cause and effect diagram, change control board, CCB, change control system, change control tools, change log, change management plan, change request, charter, checklist analysis, check sheets, claims administration, close project or phase, closing process group, code of accounts, collect requirements, co-location, communication methods, communication models, communication requirements analysis, communications management plan, communication styles assessment, communication technology, conduct procurement, configuration management plan, configuration management system, conformance, constraint, context diagrams, remember those? Contingency reserve, contingent response strategies, contract change control system, control account, control charts, control costs, control limits, control procurement, control quality, control resources, control schedule, control scope, corrective action, cost aggregation, cost baseline, cost benefit analysis, cost management plan, cost performance index, CPI, cost plus award fee contract, cost plus fixed fee contract, cost reimbursable contract, cost variance, crashing, create WBS, criteria, critical path activity, critical path method, data analysis techniques, data gathering techniques, data representation techniques, decision-making techniques, decision tree analysis, decomposition, defect repair, define activities, the process, define scope, deliverable, dependency, determine budget, development approach, develop project charter, develop project management plan, develop schedule, develop team, diagramming techniques, direct and manage project work, discrete effort, remember that one, discretionary dependency, documentation reviews, duration, early finish date, EF, early start date, ES, earned value, EV, earned value management, effort, emotional intelligence, enterprise environmental factors, they're all here. Estimate activity durations, estimate activity resources, estimate at completion, EAC, estimate cost, estimate to complete, execute in process group, expert judgment, explicit knowledge, external dependency, fallback plan, fast tracking, fee, finish date, finish to finish, finish to start, firm fixed price contract, FFP, fishbone diagram, fixed price incentive fee contract, FPIF, fixed price with economic price adjustment contract, FPEPA, float, flowchart, focus groups, forecast, forward pass, free float, functional organization, funding limit reconciliation, Gantt chart, grade, ground rules, histogram, historical information, identify risks, identify stakeholders, implement risk responses, impose date, incentive fee, incremental life cycle, independent estimates, influence diagram, information management systems, initiating process group, input, inspection, interpersonal and team skills, interpersonal skills, interviews, invitation for bid, IFB, issue log, iterative life cycle, knowledge, lag, late finish date, LF, late start date, LS, lead, lessons learned register, lessons learned repository, level of effort, LOE, life cycle, log, logical relationship, make or buy analysis, make or buy decision, manage communications, management reserve, management skills, manage project knowledge, manage quality, manage stakeholder engagement, manage team, mandatory dependency, master schedule, matrix diagrams, matrix organization, methodology, milestone schedule, mind mapping, monitor and control project work, monitor communications, monitoring and controlling process group, monitor risks, monitor stakeholder engagement, Monte Carlo simulation, multi-criteria decision analysis, network logic, network path, networking, node, nominal group technique, objective, opportunity, organizational breakdown structure, OBS, organizational learning, organizational process assets, output, overall project risk, parametric estimating, path convergence, path divergence, percent complete, performance measurement baseline, PMB, performance reviews, perform integrated change control, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform quantitative risk analysis, phase gate, plan communications management, plan cost management, planned value, PV, planning package, planning process group, plan procurement management, plan quality management, plan resource management, plan risk responses, plan schedule management, plan scope management, plan stakeholder engagement, plurality, policy, portfolio management, practice, precedence diagramming method, PDM, precedent relationship, predecessor activity, predictive life cycle, preventive action, probability and impact matrix, procedure, process, procurement audits, procurement documents, procurement documentation, procurement management plan, procurement statement of work, procurement strategy, product analysis, product life cycle, product scope description, program management, progressive elaboration, project calendar, project charter, project communications management, project cost management, project funding requirements, project governance, project initiation, project integration management, project life cycle, project management body of knowledge, project management information system, project management knowledge area, project management office, PMO, project management plan, project management process group, project management system, project management team, project manager, project organization chart, project phase, project procurement management, project quality management, project resource management, project risk management, project schedule management, project schedule network diagram, project scope management, project scope statement, project stakeholder management, project team directory, proposal evaluation techniques, prototypes, quality audits, quality checklists, quality control measurements, quality management plan, quality management system, quality metrics, quality policy, quality report, quality requirement, questionnaires, RACI chart, regression analysis, regulations, request for information, request for proposal, request for quotation, requirements documentation, requirements traceability matrix, requirements management plan, reserve analysis, residual risk, resource breakdown structure, resource calendar, resource histogram, resource leveling, resource management plan, resource manager, resource optimization technique, resource requirements, resource smoothing, responsibility, responsibility assignment matrix result, rework, risk acceptance, risk appetite, risk audit, risk avoidance, risk breakdown structure, risk categorization, risk category, risk data quality assessment, risk enhancement, risk escalation, risk exploiting, risk exposure. This is fun. Risk management plan, risk mitigation, risk owner, risk register, risk report, risk review, risk sharing, risk threshold, risk transference, rolling wave planning, root cause analysis, schedule baseline, schedule compression, schedule data, schedule forecast, schedule management plan, schedule model, schedule network analysis, schedule performance index, schedule variance, scheduling tool, scope baseline, scope creep, scope management plan, secondary risk, self-organizing teams, seller proposals, sensitivity analysis, sequence activities, service level agreement, SLA, simulation, source selection criteria, specification limits, sponsoring organization, stakeholder analysis, stakeholder engagement assessment matrix. Stakeholder engagement plan, stakeholder register, standard, start date, start to finish, SF, start to start, SS, statement of work, SOW, statistical sampling, successor activity, summary activity, SWOT analysis, tacit knowledge, tailoring, team charter, team management plan, technique, templates, test and evaluation documents, threats, 3-point estimating, threshold, time and material contract, TNM, to complete performance index, TCPI, tolerance, tool, tornado diagram, total flow, trend analysis, trigger conditions, unanimity, update, validate scope, validation, variance analysis, variance at completion, VAC, variation, verification, verify deliverables, virtual teams, voice of the customer, WBS dictionary, what if scenario analysis, work breakdown structure component, work package, work performance data, work performance information, and work performance reports. Never before have you seen it done without a single error, if I may add. Reading the entire list of stuff in this book, the entire list in the glossary. Only a maniac would do that. I'm a PMBOK maniac. You should be as well. Well, I hope you are as excited as I am about the book, because very soon you're going to be facing a lot of that lingo. So what I would do if I were you, I would use that as a checklist. Go back, listen. Go back again, listen. Go back again, listen. I did it for you. This is a massive gift I've given you. I did this for you so you didn't have to do it yourself. And I did it for you so that you could do all sorts of other things in your daily routine without having to be stuck to the book. So just listen. And if there's anything that jumps out, boom, go read it, go study it, and you're good. Just have a little post-it and write down anything I said that was Greek or Latin to you. Write it down, go check it out. All right, I hope you found that to be helpful. Now let's go back to round this stuff up once and for all. Next, we have lead yourself. Do the things you need to do before your exam. So like I said, sleep early, watch a movie, take it easy, relax. These are ways you lead yourself. Remember, less is more. Sometimes doing less than you plan to do is more. Some people want to study for another 2 days straight and the exam is tomorrow. So they're going to stay up all night. Don't do it. Less is more. You may think that more is more, but it's not. Do you know what more is going to do to your faculties, to your reasoning faculties? It's going to drain you. It's going to rob you of attention ammo, focus that you can pay to the question. Because you studied so hard, you can't even focus on the ridiculous question. I don't want that to happen to you. Stay focused, all right? So remember, less is more. Lead yourself. The things I'm asking you to do, I need you to do them. All right. Mindful of your resources. You gotta be mindful. What do I mean by resources? Well, on this exam, your time is a resource. Some of you are fed up of the ridiculous whiteboard. You've seen it. It's a joke, right? Don't waste your time trying to wrestle down the whiteboard. Seriously. You see, people are making a big mistake. They are spending so much time being concerned about the ridiculous whiteboard instead of practicing the art of being calm. You need to practice the art of being calm. The last thing I want to talk to you about today, after you apply the calm mindset, I want to drop you into the ridiculousness of these questions. I want to drop you in for you to get into that mode, that line of thought, that stream of thought, of thinking. You know what I mean? So I have 5 horrible questions. Well, for you, they're going to be easy, hopefully. But nonetheless, they're similar to what you could find on the exam. A little bit decadent. Let's take a look at some of those. So I want to get you into that mindset. I want to get you into that mindset of what you're going to see. Now, you know the exam is not broken down into these categories explicitly. You just see everything lumped together, and then they separate out your performance. So let's talk about typical questions you find in initiating. Initiating is a bad one. It's a bad boy. It's a bad boy. And the reason why I say it's a bad boy is you would expect to find the stuff for initiating in, someone said initiating. No, the PMP guide is not written like that. But you would expect to find the stuff for initiating in develop project charter and identify stakeholders. However, you do not. You find the stuff for initiating all over the place. All over. Page 30 is a good example. But beyond page 30, these question writers could craft questions that test your understanding of the concept of initiating, as opposed to an actual process in it. And that's why you need to have a very wide expanse of knowledge in initiating. If I were you, if you've not read page 30, forward. That's something you want to do. Everyone yells about page 25, but I tell people, have you read page 30? The project business case, page 30, page 31, page 32, and then page 33. The project benefits management plan. Knowledge about that all the way on to page 34, where you have the project chart and the project management plan, project success measures, all the way to page 35. Honestly, that could help you. It could. And also the relevance of the project charter to closing out the entire project. A lot of people don't remember to focus on this. So it's chapter 4 and 4.7. And there's mention of the project charter there, and most people don't even know this. But on page 124, it says, the project charter documents the project success criteria, the approval requirements, and who will sign off on the project. So you got to know the relevance of the project charter to closing out the project or phase. Get what I'm saying? Moving along on page 124, there are also several project documents. These are the same documents on page 89. So I know all that I read pretty much contain these, but still take a look at page 89. Make sure you know that stuff, all right? So page 30 is very important. But let's jump into this question that I wanted to use to get you all set. And here it is. It reads, you are the project coordinator working along with the PMO on the business document most commonly used to formalize project authorization. You are establishing internal agreements within an organization to ensure proper delivery under the contract. What project elements should you derive from this process? What can you make of this? I'm going to let you think about it for about a minute, but you see how the question immediately takes you to a number of places. they're pretty much 3 points. But depending on how focused you are, this could take you to more than 3 points. So let me give you some time to think about it. All right. So what did you come up with? That's my question. You are in the process. You must always ask yourself, where am I? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. You should know where you are. Where am I? So you could ask yourself, where am I? Which process? Which document am I working on? Which plan is being referred to? Which ITTO? See? Which input, which tool, which technique, which output? That is what you need to address first. So if you did this for this question, my friends, working along with the PMO on the business document, that business document they're talking about, excuse me, is most likely going to be either the business case or the benefits management plan. So the question is, which process am I in? Well, this is definitely somewhere pre-initiating or in initiating. It says, most commonly used to formalize project authorization. So it makes sense, the business document most commonly used to formalize project authorization. If you had done the due diligence of reading your favorite book, you would know they're talking about the business case. That is language pulled directly out of the PMP guide. I'm going to show you where this is. This is on page 77 in the PMP guide. The approved business case or similar is a business document most commonly used to create the project charter. That's pretty much where that came from. Then it says you are establishing internal agreements within an organization. Internal agreements. Internal agreements are not necessarily contracts, but that internal agreement they're talking about sounds like the project charter. Let me show you why. Why is that the charter? If you go to page 77, it reads, the project charter establishes a partnership between the performing and requesting organizations. It goes on and on. But somewhere in the middle of all of this, you'll find this exact lingo. It is hidden there somewhere. It says, a project charter may still be used, line 3, page 77. A project charter may still be used to establish internal agreements within an organization to ensure proper delivery under the contract. See what I'm saying? So when you read that, you know they're talking about the project charter. And it says, which project element should you derive from this process? So do you see the multiplicity of thought that you need to get into? You need to get in character. You're like a detective. So you're trying to find out, where am I? Which process? Which document am I working on? Which plan is being referred to? And then which ITTO? But for your exam, my friends, it's not enough to know which ITTO. Sometimes you need to know which sub ITTO or which sub ITTO or bullet of relevance. See? And that is exactly what they're asking in this question. So when you take a look at the answers, the options here, they've given you risk and issue log. You don't get that from Develop Project Charter. schedule plans, and selection criteria. No, you don't get that from Develop Project Charter. Exit criteria and milestones. Let's read the last one. Agreements or contracts is what it meant to say, contract with a C. Now, taking a look at all the options, there is really only one best option. And that best option is exit criteria and milestones. And how do you know that? If you have read the details in the project charter, page 81, you come across summary milestone schedule, you come across many other things, but if you look at the third to the last bullet, you have project exit criteria. What are the conditions to be met in order to close or to cancel the project or phase? So after doing all that analysis, my friends, you finally can make your decision. And the answer is none other than exit criteria and milestones. This is the mindset. This is the level of thinking that you are going to bring to your exam. Did you see the multiplicity of dimensions here? That's how the exam is. So if you're getting ready for the exam, this is why I say you need a calm mind to be able to read through all of this and say, oh, where am I? Some people can very quickly go through this in like a minute, know where they are, pick the right answer, boom. And that's exactly what you need to do, okay? Let's go to another scenario here because I really want to tool you up for the big day. Planning. Let's take a look at a planning example. I'm going to ask that you hit the pause button, okay? Hit the pause button and spend some time reading the question. So I'm going to give you a minute. Read the question. All right, you need to make your selection now. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. All right, my friends, I think that's enough. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So taking a look at the screen, you are the project manager on a high visibility project involving several subcontractors. You observe the team members are accepting a significant number of requested changes to the service specs with little attention to the contract delivery method or payment terms. See that? When questioned, the team members reply that the changes are relatively minor costs. Which plans or documents should you review with the team? So it immediately sounds like something bad has been done by the team, right? Something they shouldn't have done. Okay. So you've got scope management plan and WBS, procurement strategy, change management plan, and source selection criteria, And then you've got procurement management plan. I'm going to cut to the chase here and just show you how to unlock this question. When you have a question like this, as usual, you follow my unpacking process. You unpack it. Where am I? What am I doing? All of that stuff. You ask those questions, okay? You don't want to forget the what am I doing? Where am I? What have I done? Which ITTO? You know, those questions still should be asked. When you have asked all those questions, the next step is to hone in to the key words. Team members are accepting a significant number of requested changes to the service specs, okay? So that's one thing I would hone in on. The second one says, with little attention to the contract, but not just contract delivery method / payment terms. When you get a question like this, you need to ask immediately, where are those things? Where are those things? Where are those things? Where are they contained? Who's got them? Where are they? See? Then it says, which plans or documents should you review with the team? Now, not every question option has plan in it. So the answer could be anything. To answer this question successfully, you must be aware of where certain things are in the PMBOK guide. So I'm going to go to a particular page where these two items, delivery method and payment terms, are mentioned. That should be a clue for those of you who now remember, oh, I think I know what the answer is. You got that right. Yep. But let's read. We're going to page 476. It says, once the make or buy analysis is complete and the decision is made to acquire from outside the project, a procurement strategy should be identified. The objective of the procurement strategy is to determine the project delivery method, the type of legally binding agreement, and how the procurement will advance through the procurement phases. And then it continues along and it says, delivery methods, first bullet. Second bullet, contract payment types. And the third one says procurement phases. So when you take a look at the question and what is presented, the best option that hits the nail on the head, contrary to what some of you chose, the best answer is procurement strategy. When you take a look at the procurement management plan, it talks about how procurement will be conducted, the timetable, the procurement metrics, stakeholder roles. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of this stuff, you got to go into the procurement strategy. So how we do it is one thing, but other minutiae relating more to the delivery method and the payment, the contract type, this is in the procurement strategy. And for that reason, my friends, the answer to that is B. Okay? For those of you watching and wondering, wow, I wish I could do this when my exam time is close, you want to go to our website. It's Praizion.com, and eventually we will have this link up there. But right now, if you want to sign up for our next training course for the PMP exam, you need to go to pmsucceed.com. We're going to be bringing you 6 weeks of coaching and training. And you see the way I'm breaking this stuff down. That's as real as it gets. Okay? So for those of you that are new to this whole concept of training and studying with me, go on down to pmsucceed.com. When you go to pmsucceed.com, scroll down, you see the payment link, hit it, sign up. Seriously, you'll be doing yourself a massive, massive favor going to pmsucceed.com to sign up. Now, I put this together for students of ours that are on our program. That's why I put this together. So if you are on our program, eventually this will get through. You'll find this somewhere on our system. I really hope that it's of help to you. because there's many more pieces of information and analysis that we could do regarding these decadent questions. I've given you just a few. You saw how I took one from initiating and one from planning. Now imagine doing that for multiple questions. It gets you into the mindset, the calm mindset and beyond. All right. So I hope you enjoyed it all. For those of you that are still on the journey and not very far along, well, just remember, read your favorite books. Now, when I say books, I mean books, including ours, the Project Management Essentials. Those of you signing up as new students, you'll get a PDF copy of this 500+ page book. It breaks down what the PMBOK guide is not. It makes it very, very, very straightforward for you. Now, if you're taking the exam, go watch my PMBOK guide mainline because I break down WPD, WPI, WPR. Find my video on that. Find my video on how I show you deliverables, becoming verified, becoming accepted, becoming the final product, service, or result transition. All that stuff, trust me, it does help you on your exam. It's been nice chilling out with you. I wish you all the very best. Those of you that have your exams, you know who you are. All the very best. I'm rooting for your success. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Let's do it. I'll see you soon.